Good morning and welcome back, children. Here again we are back with the revision of English 2. Okay. Now there are certain things which is very important. If you all want, you all can note it down even. The basic thing which you have to go through in your English 2 is the word meaning first. Second, all the difficult words. All the difficult word you mark it down in all lessons, and you go through all the difficult words in that. Third, I repeatedly kept on telling you all who said this to whom and where it has happened, right? Like invention of shoes also, if you take one example, who was that? Like if you do away with the soil, how will you grow crops? Now who said this to whom? And this can even come like where. It has happened in the king's palace, right? And next thing very important is your back exercises. Okay, MCQ, you know that type of question is going to come, so you sort out accordingly those things. Then poem's name along with the poet's name. Maybe one or two lines will be given from the poem and maybe asked that who is the main character in this poem, or else the poet in this poem is. Okay, so these things are expected to come in your paper. And not just that, you must be very thorough with the writer. Children, don't run after question and answers. Don't keep on asking question and answers all the time, because you know very well, like MCQ means it can be from anywhere, within the book, anywhere within the lesson. We are just not going to cover the question answers. If you have like who is the king in invention of shoes, so okay, so accordingly few lessons name will be given, means the main character, the lesson's name will be given, like invention of shoes, then Ivan's story, then Rupee go a long way, 5 children and it. All the lesson names will be given and you have to choose the correct one. Okay, so you have to be very thorough with the main character of the lesson and whose shoes are to be meant, the shoes were of whom, the shoes were made up of what, who came to make a shoe for the king. Okay, so these all questions are very important. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to read out the lesson and I'm going to mark who said this to whom from the book, and so that you, in the case if you are the ones who have not done, you all can do it. Okay, once upon a time there was a king Hobu, and it's also, children, pay attention properly because this lesson I have taught you all before the vacation, so in case anything which you have forgot will be recalled again. Okay, king called Hobu. One morning he summoned his ministers, called minister and said, "Listen, Gobu Rai, I stay up all night thinking why should the dusk dirt my royal feet whenever I step on the ground. All you people who are only concerned with poking your fat salary, you have no concern for the king or the kingdom or the problems that bothers me. You must put an end to this at once, or else no one shall be spared for my royal wrath." So wrath means anger, right? This is very like wrath, anger. Now after this, few words will be there. You have to identify the correct one. Okay. Now what is this? This is a very big speaking part. So only a part may come. Like, listen, Goburai, I stay at night thinking why should, only half of it will come, and after that dot will be there, and then double speech mark close. So this will shows that this thing is completed. Okay, now you have to identify that who is the speaker in this. Okay, next, Gobu Rai wondered and worried. He pondered and perspired. The Pandit face turned pale. The courteous night turned sleepless. In the kitchen, the cooking stopped. In the castle, the cry started. What's given in this? That the order, the command of the king was in such a way that everyone was very, very afraid. Afraid means what? Of what they are going to do after this, as according to the king Hobu, they have to prepare everything and they have to mention it. Like they have to make the shoes, not shoes, take out some solution of that short that his feet doesn't get dirty. Now how is it possible? Right? Goburai looked far and wide and gathered all the scientists and learned men, all the scholars and mechanics he could find. They pushed their glasses up their nose and sat down to find the solution of the royal problem. So all the learned and the scholar people was called, and they all were sitting tensed that what solution can be of such a big problem. After thinking long and deep, they said, if you do away with the soil, how will you grow crops? So after thinking a very long hours, they said that if we put away all the soils away from the floor, then how is it possible the crop will grow? Right. Now who said this? Who said this? The scholar said to the king. Right? The scholar said to the king. The king replied, if you cannot, like you can say a scholar also can come, a learned people can come, a wise man also is correct. Okay, because what is given here? Gathered of all the scientists and the learned men and all the scholars and mechanics. So any answers can be correct. Okay. Because it's not given specifically that who is saying this, whether the learned man is saying, whether the scholar is saying, who is saying, it's not mentioned specifically. The king replied, if you cannot figure out how, then of what use you are. Now who said this? This is a short and a very nice one. The king said to the learned people or the scholars or the wise men, right? Keep writing as I'm saying, children. So they thought some more, and then they made a purchase of 25,000 brooms. Children, mark this line. How many brooms they have brought? 17,50,000 brooms. Quite a big number. Right? You have to keep this in mind that how many brooms has been ordered. That is 17,50,000 brooms. Workers were summoned. The dusting of the king commenced. The dust covered the king's face and chest. No one could open their eyes because of the dust. No one could see the sun. People coughed and choked. The kingdom was almost buried under the dust. So all the place like 17 lakhs, 15,000, 50,000, quite a big number, right? So everyone was brooming. So what happened? When you broom the floor, along with the brooming, the dust also moves up in the air, right? So that is what was happening. So what was the problem the people were facing? The dust was choking the king's neck. Then because of the dust, they were having cough, very bad cough. Okay, and the king's face was also completely covered with dusty face. It became, right, and everything was like the sun was also covered with dust. So easy it became actually because of dust. The king said, you were supposed to get rid of the dust, not fill the world with dust. Who said this? The king said to the whom? So thought more, some more, and then made a purchase of 7,000 workers. Said to the workers also can be correct. The learned men also can be correct. Okay. The 21 lakhs water carriers set out with the bags of water. They ran fast and they ran all over the pouring water wherever they saw the speck of dust. So wherever they were seeing the dust, they were covering it with the water. First they are dirtying the place and then they are cleaning it. Okay, wow, what a big thing. Okay, all the ponds and lakes were soon overflowing with mud. No boats could move on river, since there was no water. The water creators perspired. The land creatures tried their hands at swimming. They could hardly walk or run on the mud. No bazaar could be set up, so trading stopped. All the king's subjects sneezed and coughed and sniffed and suffered. Like the full kingdom was filled with water. There was water everywhere. So it was very difficult for all the people there out there to move also. Like suppose during the flood time, right? Children, you might have seen the trouble the people were facing. Okay, so that was the problematic thing. The people must think about it, right? So what happened then? How many water carriers were being called out? Mark this, children. 21 lakh water carriers. 21 lakh water carriers. Okay. The king said, "What a lot of fools! They got rid of the dust only to replace it with mud." They said that what rubbish these people are. Instead of, in case of getting rid of the dust, they have made that same dust into a mud. Now who said this? Who said this? The king said, right? Once again, everyone gathered to solve the royal problem. Once again, the great men and their assistant racked their great brains. Racked means rubbed. They started thinking what to do, right? They thought and then thought harder, but they were blabbed and blanked. Means they were completely blanked that what can be the solution. They were at a loss of knowing how to lose the dust. Someone said, "Cover the earth with mat. Rugs and carpets shall stop the dust from touching the royal feet." Now who said this? Someone said to the king. Someone said to the king. Okay. So someone said that cover the full land with the clothes and the carpets. Right. Someone else suggested, keep the king indoor. See to it that there is no hole or loopholes anywhere. If he does not step on dust, no dust shall touch his royal feet. Now who said this again? Someone said to the king. Right? Someone said to the king. Right? Okay. Now with this we come to an end of this video. Okay. And we'll continue with the rest of the part of it in the next video. And children, the back exercise of all the chapters I have uploaded in your class WhatsApp group. Okay, cross check it properly. Okay, and again I'm sending the PDF of question answers. Now I will not send you all anymore. Again and again you all are asking me, I am sending you all again, but again I am getting the notification that ma'am please send English 2 class chapter 4 question answers. Children, scroll up and check the question answers PDF I have sent. If not you are getting it, ask your friends to pass it again, they will give you. Okay, because only might be 1 or 2 might be not having, but I have made the PDF of all the lessons and I have sent even. Okay, chalo, till then bye and take care and keep studying and best of luck for your exams.